Fellow loved ones, it's TJ here. I am back. Yesterday, during my live, we had a conversation about a few things, one of which was trauma. And when people experience trauma, sometimes they may feel outside of their body or they may feel separate from their body. And during that conversation, I provided a few tools that may help people start to heal, unpack, and release some of that energy from the trauma so that they can move on. One of the things that I talked about was speaking to a professional. There are so many people who are well versed in various types of trauma, and speaking and talking it out will help you to get some of that energy out. It'll help you get started on the healing process if you haven't already started. Along with that, though, I also talked about your inner child, nurturing your inner child. If you want to hear more about it, you can go ahead and watch that video in its entirety to see what I'm talking about. The other was to ground yourself, and also gave some tips on how to do that. There are also other videos where I talk about grounding and stuff. I feel like I talk about grounding all the time, but it's so important that we are fully grounded in our bodies. You know, it helps us with our memory, it helps us with our physical health, it helps us with just staying aligned and balanced in our body. It helps with manifestation and all the things. So I talked about grounding. So I decided that I would come back and provide more tools so you have them in your toolkit to go along with what you're already doing if you don't have any of these already. Okay. And let's get into it. Where are my glasses? The first thing, which piggybacks off of grounding, go in nature. There is intelligence and consciousness everywhere. Trees, grass, flowers, animals, they all have an intelligence. They all are consciousness. They all are co creating with us. We are in this environment because this is part of how we are supposed to live. You know how various animals around the world are in different habitats because those habitats are conducive to their way of life. Well, it's the same for us. We built these walls around us, these houses, we put on these clothes and the shoes, but in actuality, we are mammals. We are also animals, and we think we're separate from nature when we are, in fact, nature personified. So go out in nature, sit and just watch the trees blow. Listen to the trees, listen to the whispers, see if you can hear or feel anything. Some people have that psychic ability where they can communicate with nature, they can communicate telepathically with animals. That could be you. But even if it isn't, go out there and allow Mother Nature to nurture and to help you heal. Okay? Put your feet, bare feet, on some concrete out there, on some in some grass, and allow the electromagnetic energies to come through the pads of your feet. Okay? Because you are connecting with who you are. You're connecting with the planet. The other tip I wanted to give you is to meditate and contemplate on the experience, the traumatic experience. I'm not saying to that you have to relive it, but once you go through something, it's your story at the time you're going through it, but then it's no longer your story. Okay? It is to help you evolve. It is on some level part of a soul contract, a soul agreement that you may have had. Like we all have soul contracts, soul agreements to experience things here on this planet in this lifetime for our evolvement, our evolution. Okay, so once we're on the other side of the thing and we're going through the growth from it, we're like releasing the pain and trying to come from out of it. We also are getting stronger. We have new tools. Okay, we have things that we can share to help other people in their evolvement. And so your pain is also your the tool that you use to teach and help other people. It doesn't have to be formal, but anyone that you run into, anyone who is going through something and they need the tools, you have them to help them, to share with them. Okay, so when you contemplate and meditate on it, what were the lessons? What is the light? What is the wisdom? What did you glean from this experience? And even if it's the smallest, most minute thing, and you can't come up with anything else at the time, that's okay. Be gentle with yourself during the process, but always seek the light. What you seek is also seeking you. What you seek, you will find. And when you find that one little smidge of light, allow it to grow and build upon that. What we do is we take the light, the dark, we alchemize it, we illuminate it, and we turn it into light. That's alchemy. We're transforming and we're transmuting it for something that is useful for our highest good and the highest good of all. Okay? And so, whatever is not serving you, whatever you are not pulling, whatever the wisdom, whatever else, then you go ahead and you deposit it. And the way I like to deposit the things that aren't serving in a situation is I like to write a release letter. Write the letter, say the names, say all of it. I felt this way. Get in there and you just let it out. Cry, whine, carry on, snot on the letter, whatever you want and need to do. This is your release letter. This is an exercise that is allowing and helping you to release it so that you can shed what you no longer need. Write the letter out, and once you're done, burn it. Burn the letter. Be very careful. I believe in another life experience, or people refer to it as past life experience or past lifetime. I believe that there's something about fire, because I'm leaning into this. Be very careful when you burn it. Be somewhere near a water source. Have plenty of water in case the flames kind of, get out of hand. That's what I did. I had plenty of water. If it's a big bucket of water, if you want to burn one page at a time, if you want to go into a big concrete sink and burn it that way, and however you need to do. This is for adults only. This is for adults. So you get the gist. But I can get a little, when it comes to that. Even candle burning, I'm really like on top of it. Like, okay, oh, I see. Nowhere near plants and trees and all of that. Just be very safe. You get the point. Once you write the letter and you burn it, it is done. It's done. You have set your intention. You are a magnificent being. If you said that it's done, then it is done. This is part of your releasing. Okay. Now, when I mentioned the contemplation and meditation and withdrawing the lessons and the light and the wisdom from the situation, from the chaos or traumatic event, if at first you are only able to see just a little bit, try just looking at things from different perspectives, different angles, so that you can scrape off more wisdom, more light. Okay? See what the lesson is. The lesson can be something as simple as, well, I know what not to do next time. It can be something as simple as that. Or it could be something as simple as, you know what? When I was in trouble, this person who you may not even know, they could be a stranger and you made a phone call, was the most helpful person. that I could ever imagine in this moment. You may have had one conversation with them, things like that, and you continue to build and you build and you build on it. Do it as often as you feel called to do. Okay, there's no right or wrong with this, but this is how you start to process. Okay, and you continue on with rebuilding other pathways. Okay, restructuring your pathways. You're disconnecting and then you're reconnecting with something new, something useful. Now, okay, I already mentioned deposit and burn the letter. And I've done several for different reasons, relationships, things that happened, and all of that. Do as many as you want, anytime you want. There's no, like I said, no right or wrong. Use your intuition. Go within and decide what you want to do and how you want to do it. Okay, in the most beautiful, pristine, perfect way that is uniquely you. So once you do that, and it doesn't have, do the order in any order that you want. Another one of my favorite things is to call back my energy. The first one, sometimes I'll do all of them in one sitting, depending on the kind of day I've had, depending on how far back I want to reach to bring my energy back to me. If you've never done this before, you are probably more than likely going to feel this in your physical body in some way. You're going to have a visceral reaction. It's quite powerful. Okay, the first one is, and I do this sometimes when I get home, and I'll just say, in love and gratitude, I release all energy that is not mine, and I call back my own energy, and I might even say of abundance, high vibrational frequency, of love and light, of embodiment, of empowerment, just whatever you want to say. So what the gist of it is you are returning energies back to other people and you're calling your energy back to you. And after I say that, I say, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. I like the number 3, so I say it 3 times. The other one, which is the next step up, I consider this the next step up, because we cord into each other. Like, we cord into each other by nature. We have these energetic cords. We can't see them. Some people can. But we have these energetic cords. Like right now, you might be watching me and a cord is coming in, or I'm sending a cord out. And sometimes we might think of people and a cord is recording into them. We might be at the cashier and we're having a conversation and asking questions at the store. We're cording into each other. You have cords with, family and friends, things like that, energetic cords. So what I do is, in love and gratitude, I send back all cords that were sent to me, known and unknown, and may those cords be transformed and transmuted into beautiful golden white light that is useful for the highest good of all. In love and gratitude, I call back all cords that I have sent, known and unknown, back to me, and may those cords be transformed and transmuted into beautiful golden white light that's useful for my highest good. I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. And then the last one, which might be my favorite, oh, it's a squirrel right there. Yeah, say amen. This one might be my favorite, and it's so powerful. You're going to say your full name. You're not just going to say it, you're going to scream it, but in your head. You're not going to verbalize it. You're going to say your name really loud, as if you see yourself across the highway and you're telling yourself to stop because a truck is coming. You're going to scream it, but in your head, and you're going to do it. I like to do it 3 times. I take 3 deep breaths, and then I like to lay down and do it. I don't know why. It's just kind of comforting. It's relaxing. And I'll yell my name, my full name in my head and you can feel like you're feeling your energy come back. And if you've never done this before, you're calling your energy back from the days of old, like years. You're going to feel that, and depending on what you've been through and who you've been through it with, some way you're going to feel it, and it's just beautiful and powerful to me. And it's like, woo. I do it 3 times, and after I do that, I say, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. Now, if I like to do, maybe some people might consider it too much or overdoing, but sometimes I'll do all 3 of these. And after I do all 3, then that's when I say, I am whole, I am whole, I am whole. You don't have to say, I am whole after each one unless you are called to do it. It could have been one of those days. It could have been one of those weeks. It could have been one of those experiences. You went on a trip in the plane, you spent the night at the airport for 2 days, whatever it might be, and you just ran into some, people that weren't really like on, vibing at the same vibe as you. And it was just a weird scenario. It could be anything. But that is my favorite thing to do, calling back my own energy and sending other people's energy back to them, releasing their energies, releasing their cords. Now, some people say they like to cut cords. I have thinned cords out, which is also another, that's a whole other thing, but it's also very powerful. I don't necessarily believe in cutting a cord fully because, again, I go back to the soul contract thing. If I completely cut a cord, then that may change the trajectory of the path that I'm on. So and because the universe is just so complex, I don't want to just throw things all the way off by cutting a cord. Maybe thinning a cord, okay. Maybe sending that person's energies back to them, okay. Calling mine in, okay. But cutting is something that, I leave it up to the individual. That's just not something that I want to do. All right. Let me see. Is there anything else? Anything? I believe that's it. I think that's it. I'm sending you lots of love and healing blessings. All right. If you have questions, leave them in the comments, of course, and I'll, of course, come back in and answer the questions. Until the next time, live simply and be kind.